Dear brothers, I am Adama. Today I will talk about Telos, Book 1, Chapter 9, concerning the animals. Father or Mother God, in His infinite wisdom, created too many beings in the universe. And why so many beings with so many differences? Let's say that it is necessary for each environment, each sphere, to have the appropriate beings for that energy, for that level of evolution, for that path. Yes, every orb has its own evolutionary history and way, and nothing is created in vain without a purpose. Even a microorganism that you cannot see has its function. Everything in the universe has a purpose. Nothing is or was created for mere pleasure, not by Father or Mother God. Everything He builds has a purpose and a reason, and the ultimate goal is always balance. Every being has its own way of living, its own way of reproducing. Some crawl, some fly, some walk, some you don't see, but they are everywhere. And in an environment that is totally in balance, nothing develops wrongly or in a way that hurts another species. Everything is in balance. In gestation and reproduction period of animals, everything is in balance, but not the one you know today. How did you come to see the animals on your planet? They are different. Some are strong, some weak, and the strong ones have ever been harassed, mistreated, and abused in their strength to serve man. Why? Because he is an animal. There is no reason for him to exist. So we can do whatever we want for him. What good does it bring to the planet? What good does it bring to me? So I can do whatever I want with it. That is how you look at animals, as beings that can serve you in whatever way you want. But as I said in the beginning, nothing is created by Father or Mother God to be inferior or superior. Every being has its own evolutionary path and has its own evolutionary quality. The animals chose to come to Earth within the love assigned to them. However, the animals were also manipulated, otherwise there would be no fear, no hunting, no killing, no exploitation because the animals wouldn't bother you, you wouldn't even know they existed. As the animals were transformed to attack each other, this action triggered the imbalance on the planet. All sorts of atrocities and evils are perpetrated against these beings, loved as deeply by God the Father or Mother as any thought or conscious being. But I will make one caveat: many people think that animals do not have a conscience. They may not have the consciousness that we humans have, but they have the consciousness of their capacity to feed themselves, the ability to survive, and what they need to do to reproduce. If they didn't have consciousness, they would be robots that need someone to tell them what to do. Every little bird born will fly after a short training, because it knows that it's part of its nature to fly. So I ask you, what do you expect from animals? How does each of you look like an animal? Angry, scared, indifferent? How do you look at it? Of course, not all of you, but you lock up your animals, you put chains on them, cages, and how does the animal feel? Are they happy? Would you like to be locked up? Neither would do it. But you still have this habit. And many with the idea that, oh, but if I set him free, he will die in the wild. It's better to decease free than in a cage. Don't forget that every animal has its own instincts. It may have trouble at first, but gradually its conscience will return and will become the free animal it should have always been. Don't use tricks to keep your animals confined, caged, penned, or chained. If your animal is wild, you made it that way, you raised it that way, and for what? To kill another brother, prominently to protect you and your home, at the cost of another's life? Or do you put all your anger and rage into the animal so that it acts as if it were you and you are not to blame for anything? You attack animals to make money, to sell the fat, to sell the parts left outside, the ends, the horns, everything is business to you, is money, no matter the suffering you cause to the animals. Many are practically extinct, and many are already extinct on your planet, but they will return, not to this dimension but to the one where you will respect them because you will also gain some respect. After all, there will no longer be manipulation done to them to attack humans. But even those animals that can't attack you, you mistreat them, you take them when they are tiny, you grow them, you throw them away, you throw them away, you cause suffering to the animal, and you put another one on the street. What kind of love is that? An animal is not a toy, he is not something you have and throw away when it gets sick. An animal is a child of God the Father or Mother, and you should respect it for that. It is not an animal, as you think. Oh, it is an animal that does not suffer. I'm not going to talk here about the absurdity of what you've created, or the genetic changes you've made to your animals to keep them bred. I think that is already out there a lot, and the conscience has to come from each and every one of you, because every time you eat a piece of that meat, remember that you are feeding this industry. Oh, but it's just a little piece. It really is just a little piece, but you are eating a little piece, but that little piece that you are eating costs an animal its life, and how did it die? Pleasantly, quietly, did it give itself up to die, or was it slaughtered in the cruelest way possible? How many more must die to feed you?